From having too much access to your devices in your home, now you can get access to your devices everywhere because we're in New York. We want more and more and more. I want to bring on Jen Hensley from, what is it called? LinkNYC.
Hi there.
Hi there. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You've met Justin.
Hey, of course. Good to see you.
You know each other. Yeah. So explain to the public out there. So all around New York right now, we're seeing these obelisks. And we as no, I want to keep the 2001 vision of here that we yes, right. These as apes we're wondering what they are, trying to figure them out. They are where phone booths used to be, but they're about this wide, or this deep, this wide, that tall, and they have a big sign on saying "Coming soon," and they have little buttons inside. What are they?
They are LinkNYC. They are Wi-Fi kiosks that are bringing gigabit Wi-Fi to the streets of New York. Like you mentioned, along the routes of the former payphones, we're replacing the payphone infrastructure with Wi-Fi kiosks, basically offering free gigabit Wi-Fi to New Yorkers on their own mobile devices. The kiosks also have integrated tablets that provide free domestic phone calls, access to city services, 911 call buttons, internet browsing, wayfinding, and USB charging, all on the streets of New York. There are going to be 7,500 of these at full scale. We have 200 installed already on 3rd Avenue. We're headed up into the Bronx later this month, and 8th Avenue as well. 150 working
150
and 200.
Where are those?
They are on 3rd Avenue, between 14th Street and about up into East Harlem, and on 8th Avenue between Columbus Circle and 14th Street. So we're continuing the build out. We're going as quickly as we possibly can, and we are actually just approaching our 2 millionth Wi-Fi session, and we have over several 100,000 subscribers. So it's New Yorkers are using our links, which is great news.
The geeks in my Twitter feed are posting speed tests,
right.
And they're all impressed so far. Absolutely.
To your earlier points, though, I think it's important to remember that 1 in 4 New Yorkers does not have internet access in their home or their office, and so while there is a portion of the population that wants to limit their screen time, there's also a lot of New York City that needs this access, and we think we'll do great things with it.
How broad does the coverage work from?
A minimum of 150 feet around each unit. We're seeing in the field upwards of 200 or 300 feet. So, and once you sign on the first time, you're seamlessly passed from link to link, so that as you move through the city, you are going to get your continuous coverage. It's gigabit speed Wi-Fi. We have a dedicated fiber network, and what that means is that your device is the bottleneck, and so our network offers speeds quicker than your laptop or your phone can use. So we think we've really built it to be future-proof and to accommodate the number of people that are going to be on the streets of New York and taking advantage of this.
What's the business model?
It's paid for by advertising on their 55-inch digital displays on either side of the units, replacing the payphone posters, and we're selling those, and that's generating the revenue. It's all privately funded. We're generating approximately $500 million to the city of New York in franchise payments over the life of our contract. So we think it's a really great business model. We think that it provides, obviously, support for the community and for the city, revenue stream for the city, and really great service for every citizen. So
I was driving down the Merritt Parkway this weekend, picking my daughter up at college, and one of the signs on the side of the highway still said, exit, and then it had a big phone. You can go find a phone here, and how magnificently quaint that is.
Right. Should you need it, there's a phone.
I think one of the neat things about Link is that maybe you can talk about this, Jen, a little bit. Is the fact that it came out of a competition. So the city ran a competition and said, we've got all these payphones, but everyone's using their mobile devices now. We could replace this infrastructure somehow. What should we do? Opened it up, and then.
That's right. And here we are. Yeah, no, we had the idea of basically replacing this antiquated infrastructure using the locations and the whatever infrastructure there was, conduit and cables, basically to provide a 21st century solution to what the city needs and what people need when they're walking around the city, right? It's no longer you need to drop a quarter in a slot. It's really that you need your mobile device charged, or if you don't have a smartphone, you need access to be able to get in touch with your family either through a tablet, internet browsing, or through free domestic phone calls that we offer with Vonage on the service.
So a couple questions. Did you have to replace what's behind the scenes? Was it old copper in there?
It was, yep. And we've run new gauge copper wire to power up the units, and then we have a dedicated fiber line that we're running independently of that. A new line, new infrastructure all throughout the 5 boroughs.
Wow. Total cost of?
Hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. It's not easy, but it's, we think that we're laying the groundwork for the future, and really that capacity is going to be something that's going to serve the city for decades or centuries to come.
Is this going on anywhere else in the world?
Lots of cities have tried free Wi-Fi. It's extremely hard, I think, to find a business model that works. I think the density of New York combined with the infrastructure of the existing payphones made this a really compelling solution for us. And we think that it's uniquely positioned here to be successful. But we are looking at other cities, and we are looking at an ad-based revenue model through Intersection and in cooperation with Sidewalk Labs, a Google company. We're exploring where this might be viable elsewhere.
So talk about the Sidewalk Labs relationship. It's started to try to reinvent cities. Former deputy mayor, former head of Bloomberg is in charge of it, Dan Doctorow. What's their larger goal into which you play?
So they're an investor in Intersection. Intersection, along with Qualcomm, the chip manufacturer, and Civic Smartscapes, which is a ruggedized industrial-grade manufacturer. Together, we're doing LinkNYC. And so Sidewalk is an investor in Intersection, and we work closely with them on all kinds of projects, data analytics projects, and things like that. Not related necessarily to the Link project yet, but I think their interest is really in trying to figure out kind of what the future of cities looks like, and how you can use analytics and algorithms and all the things you guys have been talking about to really drive better solutions, more efficiencies for city governments, more insight and information into how things can run and should run, and ultimately into service delivery. And I think there's a lot of potential there to really scale up that kind of research and figure out what the right answers are. And so they're at the forefront of that.
So public place Wi-Fi in recent years presumed it was a park and you had a laptop.
Right.
So what's the use case that you envision primarily? What are you already learning about the use case of these things?
Well, people love YouTube.
So is there a percentage of traffic to YouTube?
A lot of traffic to YouTube, a lot of traffic to Facebook.
Are you taking that data and going to release that data?
Actually, from the tablets, what I'm talking about, when people log into the tablets online, we don't track anybody's usage on their personal mobile device. But no, I mean, I think people are using it, number one, to offload data. So if they can maintain a cheaper monthly plan, they're able to get data access still while they're moving around the city, which I think is a great benefit. And then and ultimately, I think we don't know. You couldn't have imagined Periscope or YouTube when you were on a 56K modem, right? And now you have gigabit Wi-Fi service, and we don't really know what people are going to do with it. But we think whether you're sort of grabbing a spot at an outdoor cafe and logging onto the Link network, or using your mobile device that is increasingly a more robust computer device, that people are going to find all sorts of ways to use the connectivity, and ways that are advance them professionally, educationally, recreationally. There's really no limit to what we think that connectivity can provide.
I'm well confident you're not going to snoop on individual device activity, but will you have data on, let's say, video usage versus
Not on the individual device.
Devices. You wouldn't
right.
even know. Okay.
We do, because the tablet is a public screen similar to a library, we do some very basic content filtering just to make sure that it's not, it's appropriate. But besides that, we're not looking at that kind of data. So, yeah.
Now, no, actually two questions. First is the phone companies.
Yep.
I imagine in the long run they're happy. Google Fi starts with a Wi-Fi connection and then fails over to old phone lines. Are the phone companies happy about this because they can reduce their cost and they'll offload onto Wi-Fi calling, or are they unhappy about it because people will need them less? What's the thinking?
I think it depends. It definitely depends, and ultimately, we're talking about a limited amount of activity, and I think we have to see how it plays out. But generally speaking, I think a lot of companies, we're not replacing somebody's full data service, right? You're just augmenting it, you're supplementing it, and I think how exactly it plays out and what the business model for how people develop their business models around this new amount of free connectivity remains to be seen. But we're watching it closely. It's 150 live links right now, and so we'll see definitely how it evolves.
Do you imagine in the future that some capability of the Link platform could be made available to academic researchers, for instance?
In terms of the
somehow using the network for for science.
Yeah, I think it's available to them now if they want to go. There was a quote in the Wall Street Journal, "I'm moving my office to the corner of 17th and 3rd." So anybody who wants to log into the Link network now can definitely use it, and I think we're very interested in partnerships and in making data available and information available through our network and leveraging the capacity that we have to be able to do really robust projects, absolutely. And so I think that's all in the works. We're extremely focused on the deployment now.
Sure.
And
got to dig a lot of holes, right?
got to dig a lot of holes, got to pull down a lot of phone booths, and at the same time pursue other kinds of partnerships that we think are going to be really valuable to the city.
No one's thought about what this would have meant for Superman. There
are 4 units, four Superman phone booths up on the Upper West Side that are landmarked, and that will not be going away.
Really?
So if you want to drop a quarter, you got to head to the
That's actually very
to the
interesting.
Upper West Side if you want to change your suit.
Okay.
Was that part of the kind of negotiation that you had to leave some?
Yeah, we wanted to do it. I think there's a piece of nostalgia there, and so the city agreed that it would be a good thing to maintain. So
who owned? Because I think the phone companies actually got out of the payphone business years ago, right? And handed it over to various kind of charlatan companies that would charge you a lot of money for bad connections. Who owned that access?
A variety of different companies, including Titan Outdoor, an outdoor advertising company that's become a part of Intersection. A couple of other outdoor advertising companies have.
So really, for years, it's had nothing to do with phone connectivity. It's just been public space advertising.
I think Verizon had a few and stuff, So it's evolved definitely over time. But they really became much more of advertising units than really public service, communication structures, but now as links, they're all of that and more.
So I said I won the office lottery here, so I have a window.
Yes.
And as I sit overlooking 40th Street, will I have much chance of getting?
It's possible. A lot of glass in commercial buildings and some residential buildings is actually treated to keep out various frequencies of
evil
RF.
rays.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly. So it depends on how the building is built and what the structure is. But again, our network is really designed for the mobile user, for the person on the go who's moving in and around the city, and that's really our main area of focus. Although we do have reports of people getting service in their apartments.
That'd be nice. Well, God's work. Thank you also for taking down all these really ugly phone booths that were disgusting, and the phones were hanging down, and God knows what had been there. You don't want to touch them.
Tell me how you really feel.
Well, but leads me to one more question. So I'm not totally germophobic, but I do live in New York.
Yep.
So you've got a touchpad there with keys on it that everybody on Earth is going to be touching.
We actually dispatch our cleaning crews twice a week to make sure that each unit is cleaned and in good repair and well maintained. We have agreements on service, so if a screen is broken or functionality is broken, we're out there as quickly as we possibly can. We're very committed to keeping them operational and clean and safe. And you have a mobile device, so maybe you'll
I'll be using that. I'll be using that. Is there a time limit on usage of the kiosk itself?
There's not currently.
So somebody can watch a miniseries there.
Yeah, we prompt you to time out every few minutes when you're watching a piece of media, and we're currently optimizing that service. We're looking at how people are using it, how long the session lengths are, what kinds of feedback that we're getting from the general public, and we're looking at how to manage that. But the real purpose here is to give people the internet access that they want and need, and so how to do that in a way that balances usage for the most number of users is really our primary focus.
Apart from the commercial advertising on the screens and the mechanism for people to pull down content information, will the screens give the city or you the ability to communicate?
They do. Yep.
Yeah.
We can post emergency messages, other notifications. We're working with local communities. Each screen is locally addressable, so you can have it on a really hyper local basis to tell people about emergency situations, community activities, other types of promotions happening. We work closely with NYC and company on that.
Are there any sensors in the devices to see traffic passing by or anything else?
There's a variety of sensors related to the functionality of the units. We're working with the city on some pilot projects around environmental sensors.
Right.
So we definitely look forward to upgrading the functionality over time and figuring out how we can use these to best serve the city.
Cams, man, cams.
Well, it's those sensors I'm most excited about for science. I think eventually having 10,000 of these devices around the city, there'll be dissertations written on the data.
Absolutely.
That can come out of them.
Yeah.
So.
We look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, and I'll
Thanks
see you
so much.
online.
Take care.
Thanks a lot.